Mwebubasa, Brad, Mweyode, Barika, Bari, Friday Kina, Dr. Gabriel Peterson, Joe Barry, Buma, Barisi Bonyeko, Honorable Mike, Amaki, Paul Lawrence, Paul, Anosike Odua, Mr. Obams Ojuma, Kenneth Chinga.
He also said that he has petitioned the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Army Staff, and other relevant authorities not to release Army personnel to former Minister of Transportation, Chibika Mechi, or any politician to interfere in Saturday's election. Meanwhile, the Assistant Inspector General of Police supervising elections in Rivers State, AIG Kayode Egbetokun, has warned anybody capable of disrupting the Saturday governorship and House of Assembly elections to steer clear. AIG Egbetokun gave this warning during a press briefing at the police headquarters in Port Harcourt. He said they will enforce the full weight of the law on anyone caught acting contrary to the provisions of the law.
In this election, we are committed to ensuring a peaceful conduct. We will not allow any person or group of persons to disrupt this election. We are committed to ensuring peaceful conduct. And in doing this, we are going to enforce all laws relating to this election strictly. We will enforce all the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We will enforce the provision of the Criminal Code.
The IG also urged citizens to come out and exercise their franchise because the police and other sister agencies have made adequate deployment to ensure each free election.
We are deploying massively for this election. We are committed to policing this election effectively and satisfactorily. All persons who are criminally minded and who may want to come out to disrupt this election are hereby warned to have a change of mind. We as security agents, we are going to provide the level playing ground for all the candidates in this election. Our men have already taken post and we are ready for Saturday. All areas are covered by our deployment. The deployment we have here now covers everywhere. Nowhere is being left open.
AIG Egbetokun also said the restrictions ordered from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on movement of vehicles will strictly be enforced.
Let me seize this opportunity to warn that the restriction order on movement of vehicles during the conduct of this election will be strictly enforced. Everyone is advised to take this warning seriously, and if they are arrested, they will not be spared. So I advise all citizens of Rivers State to please follow the rules. The rule is that there will be restriction of movement, vehicular movement during the period of voting, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So everyone is advised to comply with this instruction.
He assured Rivers people that the Saturday election in Rivers State will improve because the police have learned from the mistakes of the presidential election.
That the synergy that is existing between the police and other sister agencies in this state will be taken advantage of in this coming election. The 3 weeks period that we have between the last election and now have been utilized to cross our T's and dot our I's in preparing for this election. We therefore look forward to a better election on Saturday.
In another development, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has approached the Court of Appeal, Abuja, asking it to set aside the judgment of the Federal High Court, which ordered it to allow electorate with temporary voter cards to vote in the governorship and National Assembly elections on Saturday. In the suit, the electoral body applied for an order of injunction against execution of the judgment delivered on March 9, directing them to allow the respondents to use their temporary voter cards in place of the permanent voter cards for the 2023 general elections, pending the determination of its appeal. In its 3 grounds of appeal, INEC held that the Federal High Court Abuja erred in its judgment when it dismissed its position that allowing the use of the TVC would amount to usurpation of the powers of the National Assembly under Item 2 of the concurrent legislative list. It faulted the trial court for declaring that PVC was not mentioned in the Constitution of the Electoral Act as a condition to be allowed to vote, or as the only means a voter would be entitled to be verified, accredited, and to vote. Moving on, the National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, has expressed concern about the rise in hate speech across the country fueled by politicians seeking political patronage. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, who made this known in Abuja, said the rise in hate speech has led to ethnic and religious sentiment being used to create division, fear, and hatred amongst different groups. He urged all persons involved to take urgent steps to stop the spread of hate speeches. Away from that, The Rivers State Civil Society Organizations has appealed to Governor Nyesom Wike to pay the salary arrears of teachers of demonstration secondary schools in the state. In an open letter to Governor Wike, the chairman of the organization, NFR Jodro, reminded the governor that the teachers were all employed by the state government just like any other category of staff in tertiary institutions. Mr. Jodro said the teachers are now being evicted from their apartment and they cannot afford their children's school fees. He said it is unexpected that a governor who has continually spoken against injustice and oppression will not obey a court judgment that asks the state government to pay the teachers their salary arrears. The letter urged the governor to pay the teachers as it will be a credit to his political career. Still ahead, Lagos State rearranges kidnap kingpin Evans for attempted murder. Stay tuned as we go for a quick commercial break. State government yesterday rearranged convicted billionaire kidnap kingpin Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans, before a Lagos State High Court in Tafawa Balewa Square over alleged kidnapping and attempted murder. Evans was arraigned alongside Joseph Emeka, Victor Aduba, and Okakpara Linus before Justice Iboron K. Harrison. Evans and his co-defendants were arraigned for allegedly kidnapping Chief James Uduji and collecting a ransom of $1.2 million. Air transport workers have sued the Minister of Aviation, Adi Sirika, and the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, over the planned concession of 4 major airports in the country. In the suit filed before an industrial court on Thursday, the air transport workers argued that the Aviation Minister and FAN are not competent to concession the various airports without the consent and authority of the federal government, the 36 state governments, and the 774 local government councils in Nigeria. A report by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention has shown that at least 389 persons have been infected with diphtheria, killing 62 of them in 2023. This week, 9 diphtheria situation report. I take that again. This week, diphtheria situation report obtained by a correspondent from NCDC on Thursday showed that Kano leads with 377 cases, followed by Lagos with 7, Yobe 2, while Katsina, Osun, and Kaduna reported 1 case each. Diphtheria is a bacterial infection that affects the nose, throat, and sometimes the skin. Now in business, some banks in Port Harcourt are now paying a maximum of 10,000 naira to customers who are holders of their debit cards and up to 5,000 naira to those with debit cards from a different bank. It comes as customers make last-minute withdrawals ahead of Saturday's governorship and state assembly elections. Our correspondent who visited some banks around Aba Road, Ikwere Road and East-West Road reports that some ATMs are also not paying. In entertainment, reality show star Kylie Jenner and rapper Travis Scott have filed an application to legally change their son's name in documents obtained by TMZ. They are filing to change their son's name from Wolfer Jacks Webster to Air Webster. In sports, Crystal Palace have sacked manager Patrick Vieira after a 12-match winless run. Palace have not won a match in 2023 and were beaten 1-0 by Brighton in the Premier League on Wednesday, their third defeat in a row. They are 12th on the table, but are only 3 points above 18th place Bournemouth, who have a game in hand.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
China's President Xi Jinping will travel to Moscow next week to hold talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin said they will discuss a comprehensive partnership and strategic cooperation. The visit comes as Beijing, an ally of Russia, has offered proposals to end the war in Ukraine, to which the West has given a lukewarm reception. Western countries have warned Beijing against supplying Moscow with weapons. On the news this afternoon, you heard politicians this morning stormed the police headquarters in Viver State over yesterday's broadcast by Governor Wike. Police has promised to learn from last election's errors ahead of tomorrow's polls. A civil society organization has written an open letter to Governor Wike about teachers of demonstration secondary schools in the state. On the foreign scene, China's President Xi Jinping will hold talks with Russian President next week. The news was edited by Martha Okere. Cloudy weather expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Kala Dakuru Batabo. Good afternoon.